Welcome to another episode of Friday Night Knits. I am filming in a different location because the lighting is so much better in here than it is in my yarn room. So I thought, you know what, I'll come into this particular space. So please ignore the items behind me. Actually, I'm going to try to make them here. We'll make them disappear. Ooh, ooh. Ah, it's all gone. I hope that all of you are doing well and happy Friday if you are watching this episode on a Friday. So today is a day I wanted just to jump on and just to catch everyone up about my current projects and also to invite you to share out what are you working on? What are you most excited about finishing this summer? And then finally, what is that project that you just can't wait to cast on the end of August, early September that's going to be your ultimate fall project? For me, I have fallen in love with sock knitting. I've talked about this a few times. I have slowly become more, how can I say, it's comfortable with using such a small needles or knitting in a small diameter, and it's been engaging and so much fun. Which is why I'm happy to report that the petty labor socks are finally finished. And when I say they're finally finished, I blocked them, I have weaved in all my ends, although not very well. Uh, as you can see, as one's trying to poke its little head in. And I've had a chance to wear them. I fell in love with these socks. They are definitely a favorite of mine. I've already worn them and I made them a shorty length rather than doing long. One sock I had messed up here. Here I go a little closer, but for the most part, you really can't tell. I am so glad I decided to use hedgehog fibers. This is one of their, you know, I think it's 85-15%. So 85% superwash merino and 50% nylon. Love it. I am so happy with the outcome. And so they're now in my wardrobe and they will be worn too often and hopefully not to the point where I wear through the holes. For one sock, I did a typical, you know, what is that? Slip, slip, knit, and knit two together, and where it makes this little shape here. And for the other sock, I decided to do a round tip. And when I did that, oh no, actually, no, I didn't do the round tip. I was going to do the round tip, but instead I decided to do the slip, slip, knit. So that way it's a little bit matchy, matchy. And I'm so glad I did. They fit very light, nice. So I'm enjoying it. The second, I did finish my object. I finished. I did have an opportunity to finish the secret test knit I was doing. My hope is that Veronica Lindbergh will be announcing the pattern in the next couple of weeks. It is definitely well written, easy, very engaging. Perfect summer knitting. You can definitely cast it on in July and have it by July 15th. It took me 9 days to do the pattern, and these are 9 days of interruptions, forgetfulness, just life. So I'm very, very glad that I had an opportunity to do that test knit. I did sign up for another test knit of hers, and hopefully I'll hear back because it's very similar to the top, but it's a cardigan. So fingers crossed that I will be invited to it, and if not, I'll end up purchasing it because it will be perfect for my cable journey. I have made several cable sweaters now, a little bit of a cable top, as well as a tank top. What else have I made? Obviously, a cable scarf, but now I want to make a cable cardigan, and I had never had the opportunity to do so. So my fingers are crossed that I will be invited to do this test knit because it will check off that little bucket list of making a cable cardigan. The next item I would like to share with you all that I have successfully finished is my love letter top. So it's still on the blocking mat. So you're gonna see the full thing of it. Isn't she lovely? So let me tell you a little bit about my love letter. Now, first things first, with my love letter, clearly I have made some mistakes. And so if you look here, this section here should be moss stitch. As you can see, mine is stockinette. Why? Because I didn't read the directions. As you can see here, there's a few mistakes here in this little lace motif, as well as with the lace motif over here. Hey, but that happens, and I'm okay with it. I decided to increase the length, which is the reason why my sweater or my top has one, two, three waves in the pattern. You usually would cut off on this, but I had so much fun doing this part, and I thought it was a really great place to do the increasing based on her suggestions. Where I ran into problems is with chart D. The pattern was very clear about what to do with chart D. I don't know what was going on in this green hair head of mine, but I just decided just to go rogue and made all of the mistakes to the point where I had a frog back. And it got so bad where I was like, maybe I should just frog this entire pattern, because I had recognized the mistake I had made in the top. And it's like, you know what, maybe I should just frog it all. But something told me just to say, hold on, don't give up on yourself. So I'm glad I did, because I went ahead and did the best I should say, to fix the pattern and just make it a little bit more cohesive to what she had put together as a design. And then I finished it off with the ribbing and bind off. And I decided to bind off in pattern where I knit and purled into the ribbing in itself, and it came out perfect. And so I once I wet blocked it, I had noticed that they, as always, with lace, the stitches started to breathe and spread, like here, for example. So I was very hesitant. I was like, oh my gosh, it doesn't look good. It looks too cropped. And I'm glad I did not let my insecurities get the best of me when it came to this project, because I love it and I cannot wait to put it on. Today, it was a warm day. And when I say it's warm, I mean when you are sitting in the sun, it's warm. It is not warm in like super warm in the house. I have the fan on just to get the air circulating, but it is still very mild in terms of the temperature that we're enjoying right now. So I'm really am loving the weather that we're having. It's perfect for knitting and just sitting in a comfortable area where you don't have to worry about overheating yourself. So those are my only two finished objects I wanted to share with folks. I am working on one project that I'm still on the fence about whether or not I'm going to do it. My goal is to insert a photo of it here. This particular project is called the cherry. I don't know how to say it in Dutch, but it's the I call it the cherry dress. And the reason why it's called that, because you can embroider cherries onto the dress. And I love the full length of it. I think it's going to be the perfect item to wear for the summer, but it is long and it's taking forever just to break for the sleeves. And I know once I break for the sleeves, the body is just going to work itself out. So my plan is this evening just to sit back, put on a television show or my audiobook and just listen to that as I'm working on that. And so that's my only priority project. I was able to finish and gift the Stellar quilt cushion to my coworker. However, obviously I forgot to take pictures, because why wouldn't I take a picture of it? That's okay. I did finish it. I gifted it to her, and hopefully she'll be able to use it. I told her she has to take a picture and share it with me. I also am still working on my nephew's sock. I messed up the first one where it was too small, and I think the second one is too big. And the good thing is, I will see him on my son's birthday, so I'm going to have it try it on. And if it's too big, he can just grow into it. I'd rather it be too big where he can grow into than it be too small where he can't even use it. So that's a work in progress. I finally got a rhythm going with the combination knitting by doing on 9-inch circular needles. So I'm having a really good time with that. Other than that, I'm not really engaging in anything else. However, I did want to share with you about my summer knitting plans. So, in addition to working on the cherry dress and obviously knitting some socks for my nephew, I really would like to cast on another pair of socks. I would also like to work on the Coming Together shawl. The Coming Together shawl, which you see here, is a beautiful pattern. It has all these different textures. I think it's just going to be really fun. And one of the reasons why I'm so attracted to it, I think it's going to help me learn new stitch techniques that I wasn't aware of, as well as just really practice the skills or the stitches I actually know how to do already. So really am excited about casting that on. I have all the yarn together. It's just sitting there waiting for me to bust a move. And I will be moving forward with it sooner than later. So that's going to be put onto my needles. The second summer pattern that I'm hoping to cast on is the zipper sweater. The zipper sweater is something I've been looking at and craving for so many months now, ever since I saw it featured on another podcaster's channel. I was like, I never heard of that pattern before. And sure enough, I went on Petite Knit's website and I saw it. I was like, I have to get it. And I was able to get the kids version as well as the men's version, because I like to wear more men's size sweaters. And so it's just sitting and waiting. And I did cast on for the kids version, and then I remember who my kids are. Oh, that's my husband. I do remember like who my kids are, so I was like, that's not the right pattern to. I'm not ready to cast on something for them that's going to end up underneath their bed or everywhere else, but that they're not really good at caring for homemade items. Right now, I'm just going to stick to blankets because they're very good about taking care of the blankets. So that's my next project I'm hoping to cast on before the end of the summer. And the third project I'm hoping to cast on before the end of the summer is the Sailor Swift top. This is another top designed by Veronica Lindbergh. As you can tell, I'm a huge fan of hers. I've always enjoyed knitting her patterns, and I think that this is going to be the perfect pattern for me to work on this summer that's going to be engaging. It's stripes, so it would give me a chance to practice some of my color work skills, especially with the trying to do more jogless knitting, I should say. And then finally, I was able to pick up yarn from the my local yarn store that's in a beautiful color. I can't wait to show you what it looks like, and I think it's going to look absolutely amazing. So super excited about this potential cast on. So those are the three I know that I'm hoping by the end of the summer I will be casting on. Now, obviously, there's going to be other patterns that's going to catch my eye that I might end up putting on my needles, but my hope is that by the end of the summer, all three of those patterns are on my needles and then I'm working on it. One other pattern that is on my radar that I know I need to put on my needles because I've been talking about it is a rainy day tee. I think what my hesitation is because I made so many different mistakes with the pattern previously due to my own inability just to follow simple directions when she was talking about the German short rolls. I I just haven't gotten the motivation to do so. So I'm hoping for one of those like stormy, rainy weekends where I have no other choice but to cast on. Maybe that will be my last day of school cast on or whatnot. But other than the rainy day team and other projects that I've, you know, looked at, I am determined to cast on the Coming Together shawl, the Sailor Swift top, and a zipper sweater. If I can get all three of those on my needles and consistently work on it, then I will be hitting all the marks, all the goals, I should say, I've set for myself. Because the Sailor Swift top is obviously something I could wear this summer. And then with a zipper sweater, it's perfect for transitional weather. I wear my zipper pullover all the time. And as much as I love that, I would love to say that I actually made this. And I love that because of this sentimental attachment to it. But I'm really, really looking forward to the zipper sweater. And plus, it's one of those garments I know that I could wear and that my husband could put it on and that we can share wearing that garment. So I'm determined to get that on my needles and get that going. Other than that, I don't have any other big plans. Obviously, I'm still working on my Yorkshire blanket. I haven't touched it in about 3 weeks now, going on four if I'm being honest with myself. And my hope is that I will find a day where I have no other interruptions. Sundays are my favorite days to crochet, and I've been crocheting. Actually, crocheted. The gentleman to help me sell, or not sell, this gentleman who helped me purchase my car. When I had a salesman who was super duper at the dealership not too far from my home. He did an outstanding job of helping me, decide which car to pick in the middle of a rainstorm, which would have been a perfect day for the rainy day tea, but I had to buy a car because my lease had came to an end. So anywho, he was super great, really informative. I didn't feel like I was being hassled or forced into a vehicle that was outside of my budget. And I felt like he was an advocate for the needs of myself and my family. And he also shared that he and his wife were expecting their first child, and I wanted to gift him something to celebrate that amazing occasion. So I had started a crochet blanket when I took my son to the movies a few months ago, and I never finished it. And I thought it would be perfect to give him because he mentioned that they're doing the Winnie the Pooh theme, and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. The colors are green and white and a little bit of yellow and orange, so it's perfect for Winnie the Pooh. So I'm really excited to give that to him. But that has been the crochet project I've been working on. I am still considering crocheting a dress. I still haven't decided, excuse me, which dress I want to crochet. So we'll see if that actually ends up happening. I have about 15 halos of knitting for olive cotton merino that I have been determined to use for some project because I initially purchased such a large quantity of it because I was going to make the Arctic Light sweater using that yarn because I wanted to do something that was a little bit more lightweight. But long story short, it didn't work itself out. So now I'm in a dilemma where I have this beautiful yarn, I have a large quantity of it, and it would make more sense for me to make a dress. You would think I would make the cherry dress with it. But I'm in the same dilemma with the Sandusgarn Linne is what how you say it. And so I have the worsted weight version of it. So I'm like, you know what? Let me get rid of that yarn first because I purchased that 4 years ago now. Oh yeah, almost 4 years ago. And so let me get rid of that, and then I will work on my knitting for Olive. So that is one of those, I'm thinking about it plans, but I'm trying to keep myself with like a 5 project maximum. I have, two on the needles, three I'm planning to put on the needles, and that's it. Because I found that if I have too many, I get overwhelmed. I end up frogging the project or losing the passion or the mental focus I was doing in it. So I'm going to stick to those and call it a day. And my hope is that I will fall deep in love with another new audiobook. I'm currently listening to the audiobook that I'm going to feature here. It has been an amazing story to hear about these three different women and the different experiences that they're having in their interaction with one another. And it's definitely got me through finishing this particular project, as well as doing the little finishing touches on my socks. And right now, I'm working on my cherry sweater while listening to that and taking a break from it and to watch season 1 of The Last of Us, which I forgot how much I love the show. Season 2 is out, and we watched, my husband and I watched episodes 1 and 2, and I forgot things. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go back, rewatch season 1, and then circle back to season 2. So I've been doing that, and in between episodes I've been watching what is it, Black Mirror. It has been such a good show. I'm totally new to Black Mirror, and I accidentally skipped over season 1, and because Netflix just dove me right into season 7. So I watched like 3 episodes of season 7, and now I circle back to season 1, and I'm like, oh, it's such an incredible series. It reminds me of the Twilight Zone. I don't know if any of you are older millennials like myself, but it definitely takes me back to that. So I've been enjoying that particular show. And another show that I ended up watching on Mother's Day, and I spent the entire day in my room in the bed with what was I knitting? I think I was knitting on the love letter top, and I think there was another project, but and I was working on the test knit. So I was working on those 2 projects while watching the show called Four Seasons. It's one of those mini series. It stars Tina Fey and a few other fairly well known actors. And it was highly enjoyable. It was funny. There was definitely a few tearful moments as well. And what I loved about the little mini series, it left on a little cliffhanger. So my hope is that they will bring it back for a season 2. The casting is unconventional. I would never have put all those different personalities, I should say, together, but it came out flawless. I genuinely enjoyed it. So, if you're looking for something new to listen to, I recommend Butter. And if you are looking for a series to get lost into, I recommend Four Seasons, The Last of Us, and Black Mirror. Thank you so much for tuning in to my little corner of the internet where I love to talk about my knitting. I love to talk about crochet. I love to talk about different podcasts that have inspired me. And I thank you so much for giving me your time to talk about those different things as well. Uh, in terms of my next steps, when I'm going to film again, my hope is to film in 2 weeks. Uh, might be coming from a different location as I am about to go out of town again for work. So if I do end up traveling out of town, which it looks like that, I will be filming from that room. So from that location. So you'll have a few episodes. You'll have an episode from New York City again, and another one from Kansas City too. Thank you again for joining me today, and I hope you have an amazing weekend. Have a wonderful knitting, crafting time.